Okay, so here we are in episode 10, and it's a defense mission. My resources have been quite a lot depleted, and I've had a few suggestions on some of the comments on some of the videos that I've put up. Unfortunately, those comments all came after I made this video, so none of those tips will be put into action, but there are some really good tips actually. So here you can see that we're setting up a defensive mission which is set up in the hills. The 2 points are on a very hilly area, and you can see where the red circles are flashing at the moment. Ideally, what I would have done if I'd have known some of the tips or put into practice the fact that you can obviously mine the roads which lead into the defensive area. Looking at this map, there's probably what, 1, 2, 3 roads maybe that could come in. 2 main ones really. So mining those roads would have been a huge benefit, believe me, but I didn't really think about that because, as I say, it's being new to the game. That would have been a huge help. And again, as I mentioned in the last video, I didn't use any of my call-ins, i.e. 50 kilogram bombs or mortar batteries, so I've still got those available for this mission. I'd also bought in the 2 sorry, I've only got 1 howitzer. I can only afford 1 howitzer on what I had left in terms of money and resource points. I had very little in terms of resource, but I still had a reasonably good sized squad to defend this mission. I decided not to go right into the defense zones but to hang around the back of them. My thought being that I'd have the higher ground and full visibility of what was below me, and I'd be able to keep them out of the area purely by bombarding. And as you can see here, a tank appears. The first tank actually doesn't actually appear on the road, it appears between the 2 roads. Now this was the first defensive mission where I actually had 3 zones to defend, and as I mentioned, The enemy are basically coming through the middle. They are approaching the road which goes around the 3 zones now, and they are actually taking to the road, so that would have been a good point to mine if I'd have known that, and if I'd even bothered to buy any engineers to actually mine them. But they seem to be doing a conga line, the enemy, from the central point, and also they're coming in more from the east as well, sort of converging at that one point. And as you can see, they keep going in and out of view. Probably behind the slope of the hill. We are firing away with the howitzer, as well as any other things that are at our disposal at this point in time. But this road here is definitely a good place to mine. I wouldn't have necessarily known that they would come on that bit of land, but they converged onto that road. Another tip I was given was satchel charges in bombed out enemy vehicles, and even your own satchel charges, which can do a lot of damage to tanks as well. That would be something else I'll be looking to utilise. So here you can see I sent a bomber over the top. Successfully killed a tank. But now the one, well there's actually maybe 6 tanks possibly lining up to come up this way. So I'm lining up the howitzer to fire on them. And here we have another aircraft dropping a bomb, which is fairly successful also. But still, the enemy march on. Now the problem I'm having here, I think, is that I don't have enough hardware to fire back with. What I could have done potentially is got maybe some troops with anti-tank grenades, or my AT crews, micromanage them around to take out some tanks. But I'm playing it fairly standard, where I'm just using the basic tools, if you like, which is okay for the early battles, but I think as you get more later stuff, you need to start using those techniques. The standard stuff alone isn't good enough. So I do have a tank, as you can see, fairly reasonably armoured tank, which is sold from the Americans, but not really doing much damage with it. Stuart tank there as well, which did a good job on the last campaign, the last mission, so to say. So you can see the enemy are really stacking up now, and we don't have many answers for them. Again, if I had mines on that road, probably half of them could have been taken out. Stuart has been hit and looks like it's virtually out the game. No, they actually still got movement, but trying to get it out there. I've spent about 10 minutes turning the thing around where I could have just took it in direct control and reversed it out of there. So I've still got control of the 2 points at this time, and the centre point is being taken by the enemy now, splitting our forces in 2, as I said. By AT gun. The enemy have cleared that sector out. As you can see, at this point I've used all of my support call-ins. They're all gone. The topmost point is being depleted by a tank, which again I probably could have used some infantry tactics to take it out. The only tank down this side is actually just one of those machine gun tanks with heavy armour. So that's not really going to take anything out. And then the tide starts swinging in their favour due to my inactivity and just letting them come forward without really putting a dent in them, you know. At this point we've still got the howitzer, which is great. So I'm taking direct aim at one of the enemies. You can see the reload speed on these howitzers is so slow. It's yeah, it's down. And I'm using high explosive as well, so probably not ideal for this scenario. Again, that advice of changing shells, which I should know anyway, to be fair, came after I made this video. I actually made this video a few days ago. Or recorded it, should I say. Played the game. So we're trying to pick off the tanks. We're doing a reasonable job. We're doing a reasonable job of keeping them at bay. It was no retreat, no surrender, as they say. The problem was I wasn't watching the map carefully and they were slowly capping all the points. Potentially I could have won this battle if I'd have had some troops in all of the cap points. Tank sneaking up on the howitzer, which isn't ideal. We missed the shot. Again, we're using high explosive. Not ideal. But does the job. And although there's not huge enemy presence on the map, we are actually losing, even though the numbers at the top there would say otherwise. It says that we're leading 813 to 188. We're still taking out the enemy one by one. I'm doing a reasonably, I guess, reasonably good job overall. Yeah, all these little bits of learning that when you watch yourself back, definitely will try to improve. But you can see, out of the blue, we get a defeat, and nothing I could do about it. So I couldn't loot anything. We're simply defeated, and that's that. Even though there was minimal enemy equipment or troops on the ground, we just simply didn't have any of the cap points, and I suppose it. So we had 1 star, 200 ammo, and 700 coin. One research. We lost a lot of equipment. Our army strength is down to 972, and the cost to resupply is 560. It looks like 588. So literally, we got loads of ammo. We've still got a couple of call-ins that we can we could resupply if they're not already resupplied. They are resupplied now. And I decided to resupply all because it's probably better to do that than to buy in new stuff. And then we've got 2 medium mortar barrages that we bring in using the stars, which are virtually free gifts for you. And I'm left with 142 points. So basically, it's almost game over. Unless I can win the next battle with this minimal size force, I could be nearing the end of this playthrough. I won't surrender though. I won't sort of just say, oh no, I'm not going to do it. So I will try, but it's going to be very, very difficult now. I'll have to take it very slowly to win the next battle, I believe. And I'll have to use the call-ins very wisely. And use every man, if possible, to their best ability, their best capability. So I'm reshuffling the pack now, as you can see, to see what I can actually pull together with this remaining amount of troops and so on. And I'll show you that in the next episode. So thank you very much for watching.